Welcome to another episode of Life and Equity, where we talk about life experience, and equity, which is finance. Today, I want to talk a little bit more about financial freedom, what that looks like, and ways to get there. So, financial freedom can easily be defined by having enough passive income to take care of your expenses. Now, a lot of people's goal, which is great, a lot of people's goal is to have their passive income replace their active income. Active income is, of course, income that you get from your job, whatever that vocation is, or whatever that career is, whatever you're doing on a daily basis, on a consistent basis to earn money. That's going to be your active income. Passive income is typically from investments and investment income, investment cash flows, basically money that you're no longer having to work for. This might be rental income from things like real estate. It might be or land. It might be or even farmland. Farmland produces passive income. It might be uh, 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 might be things like loan repayments. If you happen to be a lender, the interest that you're getting back, that would be passive income. It might be dividends from a stock portfolio. Uh, so passive income can be a lot of different things. It might be actually if you have a business, if you own a business or start a business, then oftentimes a business, the profitability, it might be a passive business, even though you may be working in it. Your profits might be considered a passive income source, depending on how your business is structured, depending on how it's run. There's a possibility that owning or having that business could create or produce passive income. So there's a lot of different ways, a lot of different things that can be considered passive income. And here again, financial freedom is having the passive income to cover your monthly expenses. Now, going back to financial freedom, it's a lot easier to achieve financial freedom if your expenses are low. Say monthly expenses of $2,500 are going to be a lot easier to cover by passive income than a monthly income or a monthly expense of, let's say, $10,000. Depending on lifestyle, that can range greatly. So there's a couple of things that will get you financially free faster. The first one is save as much as you possibly can, preferably making making a habit and being consistent with saving, you know, maybe start with 10%. If you achieve 10%, maybe shoot for 20%. You're doing two things when you save that kind of money. First of all, you're automatically, let's just take 20%. If you're saving 20% of your gross income, that means you're living off of 80% of your income. Already, that is lowering your lifestyle, which is going to make financial freedom easier to do because you're living off of less than if you were spending 100% of your income. So again, if you can save 20% and you make that a habit, if you can save 20%, can you save 30%? Ultimately, as fast as you can achieve financial freedom, you've got freedom of time. You've got all kinds of freedom at that point in time. So if you can do it very, very aggressively, and some people, depending on your circumstances, you might only be able to save 10%. My recommendation is save at least 20%. But if you can save 30%, 40%, 50%, that's even better. That will get you financially free even faster because again, two parts to that, you're living off less of your income, which allows you, it says, if your income is, let's say, 10,000 a month and your expenses are $5,000 a month, and you're able to save that $5,000, the difference, the delta, if you're able to save 50% of your income in that instance and live off of $5,000, but your earnings are $10,000, then again, your passive income only has to cover 5,000. It doesn't have to cover 10,000 if you're consuming 100% of what you're making. So by saving more, living off of less, it allows you to become financially free faster. Now, the other aspect of that, or the other side of that coin, is if you're saving more, you're going to be able to invest more, which will produce more cash flow, passive cash flow, which will get you financially free even faster as well. So it's highly beneficial to save as much as you possibly can. When you achieve financial freedom, then even if you still actively work, and most people who are financially free actually work harder and longer hours because at the point they become financially free, they no longer have to go to a job. So they don't do things that they don't enjoy doing. That means they get to wake up each day and they live each day with passion and purpose. They do what they love to do. And incidentally, a lot of them enjoy producing or being productive in life. I certainly do, and that's why I still work. I love what I do. Why would I stop doing something I love doing? Even though we were financially free a while ago, some years ago. So once you achieve financial freedom, you get to live each day with purpose and passion. You get to go and provide value for others in a way that's meaningful. And it's something you love doing. You enjoy doing it. And you'll be richly compensated for it because dollars follow value. If you're providing value for others in a way that's meaningful for them, dollars will follow that. It's just a law of reciprocity. Um, Also, once you become financially free, it's actually really fun because now you're not waiting on a job or an employer to say when you get to increase your lifestyle or when you get to increase your income. Because remember, if you're like, hey, look, my income is being my lifestyle is being taken care of by passive income, whether or not I work at a job. So it's your passive income that becomes the important cash flow number each month, not necessarily your job income. Now, if you think about that and you say, hey, my passive income is taking care of my current lifestyle, but I want to increase my lifestyle. I might want a new car. I might want to take a lavish vacation each year. I might want a new home. Who knows? Who knows whatever your heart desires? And so when you look at that passive number, of course you're saving because you've been in the habit of saving. You say, hey, what, what, what what investments do I have to invest in to produce the additional passive cash flow to support whatever I want to buy or wherever I want to put my money, whether it's a new vehicle, whether it's a lavish vacation, whether it's a new home, whatever the case may be. And so quite literally, you look at that number and you say, hey, here's what our current passive cash flow is, and it's currently taking care of our lifestyle. And let's just hypothetically say, I'll use an example. Vehicles, trucks. Trucks are extremely expensive nowadays. So you might say, hey, I want a new truck. Okay, new truck is going to be about $1,000 a month. What investments do I have to make that's going to produce an additional $1,000 a month over and above the cash flow that I've already got, the passive cash flow that I've already got? So quite literally, you are the one that determines when you get raises for lifestyle. So you say, hey, I'm going to go invest in this piece of real estate or whatever it is. I'm going to go invest in XYZ business that's going to produce dividends or XYZ business I'm going to go invest in my business or a business that kicks off profits to the tune of $1,000. Now you got that $1,000 a month of passive income, and you can then go make that truck purchase as an example. Now, the fun thing about passive income is truck payments don't last forever. You can pay that truck off. And when you do, the payment goes away. But guess what doesn't go away? The passive income. So then you could decide, hey, what do I want now? Do I want another toy or vehicle? Or now I want lavish vacations, and I'm going to use that $1,000 a month of passive income to now focus on vacations each year or whatever it is you want. So again, financial freedom, it's fun, it's very, very possible, and those are some easy steps. Live on less than you earn. Start taking the difference, that savings, and invest that in places that are going to produce passive cash flow. Now, a good place to put the money until you're ready to invest, until you find investments and you're ready to deploy that capital, is life insurance, specifically whole life insurance, and specifically structured in a way that is set up for high cash value. That way you can actually use it. It is a life insurance policy, but you can actually use it as a personal banking system and a long-term savings vehicle. So you're piling money into the life insurance policies. You're seeing your equity build, and then when you have an opportunity come around, you can then borrow against that to go acquire the asset that produces the cash flow. I am an insurance agent, and there is a link below in the description that takes you to Paradigm Life. That's the company that I represent, Paradigm Life. When you click on that link, it'll take you to Paradigm Life, and you can find more information about life insurance. And if you'd like to, you can schedule a meeting with me, and we can talk and see if it's a good fit for you. But either way, like whatever you do, whether you use a savings account, whether you use a whole life insurance policy, whether you use something else, financial freedom should be the goal and objective of everybody who comes out of the education system, whether that's just out of high school and they're not going to go into college, focus on financial freedom. Whether they go to college and finally come out of college with whatever degree they might have. As soon as they get out of college, the next step or the next focus should be financial freedom, regardless of what your day job is, regardless of what your career is. Having financial freedom should be a priority, and it could be achieved very, very quickly. At 35 years old, I realized a lot of things. One of them was that I wanted to be financially free. At 35 years old, we were a single income household. My wife was a stay-at-home mom at the time, or a homemaker, as it's called, and we had 4 kids at home. And at 35, my goal and objective was to become financially free by 50 years old. Gave myself a nice 15-year runway. We were focused on it. We made it a priority. We achieved it in 6 years as a single income family. So it's very, very possible. Again, it just takes focus. It takes discipline. You've got to walk the path. That's the hardest thing, is making the determination and changing the mindset. So you say, hey, this is the goal and objective. We're going to keep this goal and objective in mind, regardless of what happens. Being consistent and persistent will get you to achieve your goals and objectives. Hopefully this was helpful. If you like this, please like and subscribe. And please leave comments. If you like the content, please leave comments. And if there's anything in particular you'd like me to talk about, please let me know. I'm happy to address it. Until next time, thanks for watching. Sure appreciate you all.